2, 1, and you're live, Chairman.
Good evening and welcome to the South East Area Planning Committee meeting on Wednesday the 28th of October 2020. My name is Councillor M.W. Helm and I'm Vice Chairman deputising for Richard Dewick, the Chairman. This meeting is being held under new regulations which came into effect on the 4th of April in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Just a few housekeeping issues to run through. First of all, please could I ask everyone present in this meeting to ensure your microphone is muted and your video feed is off when not addressing the committee. This will reduce background noises and avoid any unintentional disturbance. This meeting is being hosted remotely, streamed live and recorded, and being present in the meeting, you are giving your consent to being recorded. Members and officers, during each item, please use the chat function of the meeting to indicate if you wish to speak. I will then invite you at the appropriate time. Members are reminded that apart from indicating you wish to speak or that you have to leave the meeting, the chat function should not be used for questions or any other purpose. Members, when speaking and referring to the agenda papers, please reference a page or paragraph number and keep your contributions as clear and concise as possible. When invited to speak, please ensure you turn on your microphone and video. Now may I ask officers taking part in the meeting to introduce themselves, starting with Mr. Lee.
Good evening, members. I'm Matthew Lee and I'm Lead Specialist Place and Chief Plan Officer at Milton District Council. Thank you.
Michael Johnson.
Good afternoon, Chairman. My name is Michael Johnson. I'm Lead Specialist Development Management. Thank you.
Thank you. Annie Keane.
She's not present tonight.
Okay. Louise Staplehurst.
Hello, I'm Louise Staplehurst and I'm a specialist in development management.
Thank you. Berna.
Good afternoon, members. Brenda Casey, Clerk to the Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other officers present?
No, Chairman.
Right. Berna, can I ask you to carry out a roll call of members to confirm who's in attendance, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Members, I will call your names in alphabetical order. Please indicate that your attendance. I'll start with Councillor Bassinger.
Good evening, everyone. I'm present.
Thank you. Councillor Beale.
Good evening, everyone. Brian Beale speaking. I am present.
Councillor Bell.
Good evening, everybody. I'm present.
Councillor Boyce.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs. Channer.
Oh, good evening, Berna. Good evening, Chairman and everyone. I am present.
Thank you very much. Councillor Helm.
I think I'm present.
Thank you. Councillor Hull.
Good evening, everybody. I'm present.
Hull.
Can you hear me?
Thank you, Councillor Hull. Chairman, can I now ask members in attendance to please introduce themselves now?
Good evening, Councillor Bamford in attendance, Benna.
Thank you, Councillor Bamford.
Good evening and welcome.
Welcome.
And that's Councillor Morris.
That is, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in attendance? I think I saw somebody else popping up there. Oh, Councillor Mays, you with us?
Yes, Councillor Mays.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Chairman.
May I have apologies for absence, please, Berna?
Yes, Chairman, we've received apologies for absence from Councillors Dewick, Skeens and Stamp. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minutes, it's recommended that the minutes of the meeting held on the 30th of September 2020, found on pages 7 to 10, are approved as a true and accurate record. I so move. If you wish to second that motion, please turn on your video, unmute your microphone and state your name now, please.
Seconded, Chairman, Councillor Penny Channer.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to raise any items in that? Or are we going to agree that by assent?
Happy to agree by assent, Chairman.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, okay.
Agreed.
Declaration of interest. Disclose the existence and nature of any disputable pecuniary interest or other pecuniary interests or non-pecuniary interests relating to items of business on the agenda having regard to paragraph 6 to 8, inclusive of the Code of Conduct for members. Members are reminded that they're also required to disclose any such interests as soon as they become aware, should the needs arise throughout the meeting. If any member has an interest to declare, please use the chat function to indicate now and I'll invite you to speak.
Councillor Channer, Chairman.
Councillor Channer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Just to declare a non-pecuniary interest in that I'm also a member of Essex County Council, who are consulted on any matters within their remit, i.e. highways, access, education and any other matters, Chairman, but mostly tonight's I think will apply. Well, not sure totally which both of them, so I'll just leave it like that, Chairman, my declaration.
Anybody else?
No, Chairman.
I think we all need to declare an interest.
Sorry, Chairman.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chairman. I think Councillor Hull would like to.
Councillor Hull.
No, I think we're going to the same with the Nitzel's Chase. We all know Sue White, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, that relates to all members present.
Yes, that relates to all members because Mrs. Patton is Councillor White. Thank you. We now move on to item 5, application 20-00733 FUL, land adjacent Orchard House, Nipsels Chase, Mayland. Found on pages 11 to 22. Please note that a member's update in relation to this application has also been circulated prior to the meeting. In a moment, I will call on officers to present this item. Members, a reminder, if you wish to speak on this item, please make this known using the chat function within this meeting. I will then come to you in turn. Please keep your points clear and concise. Ms Staplehurst, please.
Apologies, Chairman, for the further interruption, but could I check if Councillor Bassinger wishes to make a declaration because he has his hand up just before we move into the actual presentation?
Councillor Bassinger.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware my hand is up. Are you sure it's me?
Yes, yes, please. That's okay. It is, yeah.
It is. Well, let's see if I can remove it. There we are. Is that down?
Yes.
Yeah, no. I am sorry. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No, it's still up. Sorry, I'll take it down.
Still up. If you wouldn't
okay,
mind.
that's lovely now.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ms Staplehurst, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Planning permission is sought for an equestrian arena to ride horses in the winter months. Please note, as said previously, the members update, which has the environmental health response and also an amendment to condition 4 to reflect boundary treatment details that have been sent in since the report was written, showing a timber post and rail fence will be used surrounding the arena. So this is the location plan, and you can see the whole site outlined in red here, and the development would lie to the north in this part here. And planning permission has already been granted for a stable in this location here. And the equestrian arena will be used in relation to this and the equestrian use of the whole site. You can see more clearly here the positioning of the arena to the north of the site and the stable building which has already been approved. Here are some examples of the materials to be used and what the arena will look like when it's finished, particularly this one showing the fencing materials and the sand mix. These are some photos of the site, a view to the north where the development will be located, a view of the access leading west from Nipsels Chase, and another photo towards the north of the site. The proposal is considered to be acceptable, subject to the conditions set out in section 8 of the report, with also the amendment to condition 4 boundary treatments as set out within the members' update, and the informatives also requested by Environmental Health. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Ms Staplehurst. In line with public participation scheme, I now invite the applicant, Mr Kenny Patton, to read out their submission. May I remind you that you are only allowed 2 minutes to speak in accordance with the scheme. Mr Patton.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to speak at this meeting today. As I'm sure many of you are aware, my wife loves horses. Unfortunately, we live on Essex clay, which becomes very wet in the winter, and this riding arena will allow my wife and our young nieces to ride on an all-weather surface throughout the year. This will reduce their reliance on riding on the roads in the wet winter months, which will be much safer particularly as one of our nieces is disabled and attends the riding for the disabled charity. We have clarified that the boundary treatment is to be timber post and rail fencing, so we hope that this will mean no need for condition 4. The riding arena is located behind the stable building, so it will not be seen from the road, and we intend to plant a hornbeam hedge on the boundaries. We have already submitted a drainage plan. This riding arena is only for the use of our family, and I very much hope that you can all support this application and agree with the officer's recommendation to approve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patton. Would officers like to comment before moving on to the recommendation?
No, Chairman.
The recommendation as set out within the report is as follows. That planning application 20-00733 FUL, land adjacent Orchard House, Ipswich Chase, Mayland, be approved subject to conditions as detailed in section 8 of the report. If any member wishes to second that motion, please turn on your video, unmute your microphone and state your name now.
Chairman, I'm happy to second that. Councillor Penny-Chenner.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I now invite members to make any comments on the report. Berner, who has indicated they wish to speak, please. Anybody wish to speak?
Yes, Chairman.
Councillor Channer.
Councillor Channer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. Well, Chairman, obviously I've seconded, so I'm happy with the proposal to approve. But I just wanted to raise that Mayland Parish Council has sent a letter in of representation, and they obviously have a view that it should be refused because of the drainage issues. But I note the officer's response on the order paper, and therefore can the officer confirm to me that, bearing in mind the condition applied, that everything is satisfactory in that, and there's no reason at all for the Mayland Parish Council issue of refusal to actually be considered, because it is perfectly covered by what's been submitted and the conditions you've applied.
Yes, so I can clarify that they did submit a surface water drainage report. It came in I think a few weeks after the application was made valid, so it wouldn't have been visible for the parish council to see when they were first consulted, but Environmental Health have been consulted on that report and are happy that all the drainage is sufficient, and there is a condition included to make sure it's carried out in accordance with those details. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Any other member, please?
No, Chairman.
Right. Now move to the vote. Do you want to take a vote, or do you want to do this by assent?
We need to vote on this as...
All right, vote then, please. Do you want a recorded vote or just a general vote? Recorded then, please. Berner, would you take the roll call, please?
Thank you, members. This is just a normal vote. I'll take you in alphabetical order. Can you state clearly for, against or abstain? Councillor Bassinger.
For.
Councillor Beale.
For.
Councillor Bell. For. Councillor Boyce.
For.
Councillor Channer.
Did you say Channer? For.
Yes.
You said my name, sorry.
Councillor Helm.
For.
Councillor Hall.
For.
Thank you, members. That's 7 for the recommendation, none against and no abstentions. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, members. We now move on to item 6.
Thank you, everyone.
Pardon?
Thank you, Mr. Patton.
We now move on to item 6, 20-00833 House, Beachcrest Sea View Parade, St Lawrence, Essex. Found on pages 22 to 32. Please note that a members' update in relation to the application has been circulated prior to the meeting. In a moment, I will call on the officer to present this item. Members, a reminder that if you wish to speak on this item, please make this known using the chat function within the meeting. I will then come to you in turn to keep your points clear and succulent. Ms. Keenan, please present the report, please.
Planning permission is sought for the erection of a single-storey ground floor extension and a first floor front and rear extension, including a gambrel-style front dormer and a flat roof side dormer. Further alterations also include an extension to the roof terrace at first floor level and cedar cladding to the whole dwelling. As stated, please see the members' update with additional public comments and comments from the agent. This is the location plan showing the site here outlined in red. This is the proposed block plan, and you can see this is the front where the gambrel style dormer would be, and the extension to the roof terrace, and then the additional extensions to the side here. This is the existing northern elevation, existing western elevation, existing southern elevation, and the existing eastern elevation. This is the proposed northern elevation showing the gambrel style front dormer, which would be out of keeping and unbalance the relationship with this neighbour here. And you can also see the extension to the roof terrace here. Is the proposed western elevation showing the flat roof side dormer and the rear extension. This is the proposed southern elevation showing the alterations to the existing rear conservatory to form a more solid structure, and the proposed rear projection, which would extend from the existing southern elevation to bring the rear projection in line with the southern elevation of the dwelling. This is the proposed eastern elevation showing the proposed gambrel style roof projecting forward of the front elevation of the neighbour. These are the existing ground floor plans and the existing first floor plans. The proposed ground floor plans and the proposed first floor plans. This is the existing and proposed street scene elevations showing the proposed alteration in relation to the adjoining neighbour here and neighbouring dwellings either side. This application follows a previously refused application, which was refused due to the scale, bulk and design of the development, which was considered to appear dominant in relation to the pair of semi-detached dwellings. However, and those are the previously refused side elevations as well. And this was a recently approved application, which was approved last week, which is considered to be much more in keeping with the character and appearance of the area and the dwelling, and especially in keeping with this neighbour as well. The flat roofed front and side dormers take cues from the neighbouring dwelling and the front, and whilst the front dormer is larger than the neighbouring dormers, it doesn't detrimentally impact upon the character and appearance of the host dwelling or the pair of dwellings. And the other elevations from the approved application. And then just showing the street scene plan of the approved application and how it's much more in keeping with the attached neighbouring dwelling. Here are some photos of the site. So this is the application site. And some photos of the street scene. It's noted that there are dwellings of differing styles within the street scene, but unlike the application site, these dwellings are detached and form their own character. The application is recommended for refusal due to the proposed gambrel style design of the first floor front extension, which would be out of keeping and unbalance the pair of semi-detached dwellings. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Ms Staplehurst. In line with public participation scheme, I now invite the agent, Mr Terry Hyland, to read out their submissions. May I remind you that you are allocated 2 minutes only for the public speaking in accordance with the scheme. Mr Hyland, please.
On his camera as well, if possible.
Hello.
2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes, sir.
Hello. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for letting me speak. Straight into things. Having given consent to a flat roof dormer scheme, it appears that only the objection is to the formation of the gambrel dormer in lieu of the flat roof option. Appended to my report, which hopefully councillors have all received, was a document called Planning Timeline. That provides relevant history of the development that has occurred adjacent to the applicant's property during their long-term occupation of their dwelling. Putting aside changes in the LDA plan within this time, it's felt that this history is very relevant when considering this application, as they've endured considerable adjacent and significant development in the intervening years, some possibly unauthorised. In summary, these developments that have taken place completely contradict the proposed reason for refusal for this particular application. Alterations to the immediately adjoining property may have unreasonably influenced and jeopardised this application, given that their first floor window was changed to French doors very recently. Again, please refer to that planning timeline. I won't read out the officer's proposed reasons for refusal. It's there for everyone to see, but illustrations have been made to demonstrate the erroneous issue of so-called unbalanced appearance. This pair of properties, apart from the profile of the very original footprint, has not appeared visually balanced since before 2010 at the very least. Also, this principle historically has not been adhered to on adjacent properties, as again as demonstrated in the appended document Planning Timeline. Design is completely subjective, despite architectural references to established principles. Those involved in this application have researched and worked very hard with all the interested parties to produce a high-quality design appropriate to its setting, particularly given the infinite variety of properties in St Lawrence Bay overlooking the river. It is vehemently contested that this design is out of keeping, given that it references both the host dwelling and the roof of the property, water's edge, immediately westwards.
Ireland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does any officer want to speak before I move to the recommendation?
No, Chairman.
Right, the recommendation as set out with the report is as follows. That planning application 20-008-33 House, Beach Crest Sea View Promenade, St Lawrence, Essex, be refused for the reasons as detailed in section 8 of the report. If any member wishes to second that motion, please turn on your video, unmute your micro and state your name now, please. Nobody? Right, I'll move on to any members that would like to speak.
Chairman, I'll second that.
Who's that? Oh, Councillor Boyce.
Yeah.
Seconded by Councillor Boyce. Right, if any members wish, and I now invite members to make any comments on this report, please. Berna, who's indicated to speak, please.
Councillor Bassinger, Chairman.
Councillor Bassinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to say that I actually think this is quite an attractive development, to be honest. We're often told that, you know, planning and the visuals are very subjective, but when you actually look at what's there and what's proposed, personally, I think this is a good thing. This is development in a good way. I can't see how those two buildings are visually, you know, it's important that they look the same. I don't really get that. I can see that there are two buildings that really would benefit from being upgraded. One of them, I think, is a perfectly decent looking upgrade, considering the area has many, many developments with balconies, French doors and whatnot. So personally, I think we should approve this application. Thank you.
Is that a proposal, Councillor Bassinger?
That is a proposal. Thank you very much. I'd like to propose that we approve this application.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Would you like to speak as a ward member then, please, Councillor Chairman?
I would indeed, Chairman. I did ask to speak actually earlier, but never mind. It appears mine came down and I said I was the ward member. And I have actually called this in, Chairman.
Yes.
This application, as you can see from the order paper. Councillor Bassinger has said a lot of what I was going to say, and the agent also. I mean, the only thing that I can see that is fundamentally different to a degree, but very small, is the gambrel roof. I think we've seen what's already been approved under the earlier application the officer highlighted to us. I've actually walked the whole area today. I walked along the seawall and studied the houses, which I knew anyway, but I went to refresh my mind. clearly the street scene is very, very different. And I noticed the report even talks about the local area. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think we can consider the local area at all, because the local area is very much the same as Seaview Promenade. A multitude of different designs and different things, various balconies here, there, everywhere, different sizes of windows, different heights. In fact, to the east of the property, I think I'm getting it right, is virtually what I would call a 3-storey contemporary premises. Then the neighbour the other side is different again to the 2 semi-detached. In fact, we have, and I'm not sure, Chairman, can I have it confirmed? I believe one of the neighbours sent in a letter of support. Only I couldn't see that on the initial report. And I just want to check that all members might be aware of that, that actually one of the neighbours has offered support to this development.
Yes.
So, really, so Chairman, can we just see this gambrel roof that appears to be causing the problem? And I think it might be looking from the west direction. The officer showed it, so I'd be very grateful if we could see that, Chairman.
Yes.
Yes. Now, can I see it from the what do you call that? That's the north elevation. Can I see from the west? Right, and now from the east, please. Right, Chairman. Well, there we go. That is what we're looking at. And to be honest, I really do not have an issue with that. There's not a great deal of projection past the adjoining semi-detached. To me, it's minimal in terms of that. And I think actually it's more attractive than what the officers have approved under the recent application 00827. So, Chairman, Councillor Bassinger has moved the proposal. I'm very happy to second that, Chairman, for the reasons I've given. And bearing in mind the immense different degrees of design down Seaview Promenade, the different types of buildings, I don't think we should just centre ourselves on looking at 2 semi-detached buildings here. We need to consider the whole area, and actually I would see this as an improvement. I've been there today, and no disrespect to the area or anything, I would think this design, if incorporated, if approved tonight, would actually bring benefits and look much better, with all due respect to what is there currently, Chairman. That is my opinion, and I'm happy to second that proposal.
Thank you very much. I'm also the ward member, and I agree entirely with Councillor Channer. Regarding, does anyone else want to speak?
Nobody's indicated, Chairman.
Right, Councillor Boyce, you second the recommendation. Are you prepared to carry on with that, or do you want to?
Oh yes, of course. I support the officer's recommendation.
Okay,
Chairman.
we'll move to the recommendation first because that was first on the list. Berna, can you take a vote, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Members, I will call your name in alphabetical order. This is for the officer's recommendation of refusal. Can you state clearly for, against or abstain? Councillor Bassinger.
Against.
Councillor Beale.
Against.
Councillor Bell.
Against.
Councillor Boyce.
For.
Councillor Channer.
Against.
Helm.
I'm afraid I'll have to say against.
Councillor Hull.
Against.
Thank you, members. That's 1 for the recommendation and 6 against, members.
Thank you
No
very
abstentions.
much. We move now to, I can see some hands waving about there. We move now to Councillor Bassinger's proposal. Would you like to repeat that, please, Councillor Bassinger, which is seconded by Councillor Channer?
My proposal is to actually approve this application, Mr. Chairman.
And the reason?
I think it's of good design and, as Councillor Channer has said, an improvement.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak on that before we move? Right, we'll move to the vote, Berna, please.
And we have taken all the reasons. Okay, so we've agreed reasons.
Can I just say, Councillor?
Yes.
And probably preempting my colleague, Mr. Lee, there was a previous refusal for a similar development. It is recognised that this scheme has been substantially reduced in terms of its bulk and scale. Essentially, in terms of the gambrel, it is very similar to the previous scheme. Members need to be quite clear in terms of their reasoning for supporting this, that the general principle which we apply for ensuring that schemes, especially semi-detaches, retain a similar character, would not be undermined in terms of the proposal to support this scheme. So I think a more clarity would be required from members. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Channer, could you assist Councillor Passenger, please?
Well, I'm sure Councillor Bassett can speak for himself, but I have to say on this occasion, I'm afraid I can't agree with the officers. Obviously, that's why I've said I'm happy to second Councillor Bassett's proposal. But to me, the design, I think I can say that design is okay, and the other policies that I named when I did the call-in, I feel it doesn't go against those policies, Chairman, because as we know, we have to define policies when we call in. And I think actually, Mr. Johnson, in a way, has said it. This application is not the same as that previously refused. There have been tremendous changes, and members actually weren't involved in any consideration of the previous application, to my knowledge. I believe that was done under delegated powers. So therefore, Chairman, this is the first time as a member I feel I've had the opportunity to look at this, unless Mr. Johnson tells me I'm incorrect, but I certainly can't remember seeing this one come through to committee before. And bearing in mind the degree of reductions elsewhere, really the only one issue is this gambrel roof. And having seen the plans tonight on the screen, asked officers to present the perspectives I wanted to see, I really do feel, Chairman, that it's not worthy of my consideration to refuse it. And purely because as we say, good design is important. And I fundamentally always fight for good design, Chairman. But this, to me, does not actually fly in the face of that design policy in our LDP.
Councillor Passenger, did you want to come back?
Only, Mr. Chairman, just to say that this application has been considerably reduced in size, so it is, it has fulfilled one of the problems with the last application. I think good design is very much a consideration, as we're always told. So I think pretty much we've covered it. So that's really it.
Bernard, did you, as Councillor Boyce, want to come back? I keep seeing flashing.
He's not indicated in the meeting chat, but you can just ask him now. Councillor Boyce, are you wishing to speak on this?
No, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Boyce. I just saw your picture flashing a bit, so I just wondered whether you did or didn't. Right, have we all finished then? Can we now move to the vote, Bernard, please, to approve? Thank you, Chairman. So we're voting now to approve the application contrary to the officer's recommendation. That's correct. Members, I will take your name in alphabetical order. Can you please indicate clearly for, against, abstain? Councillor Bassinger?
For.
Councillor Beale?
For.
Councillor Bell? For. Councillor Boyce?
Against.
Councillor Channer?
For.
Sorry, Councillor Helm?
For.
Councillor Hull?
For.
Thank you, members. That's 6 for the application, 1 against, no abstentions. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much for that,
Please, Chairman, we need to obviously deal with conditions as well.
I think Councillor Channer and Councillor Passenger did do that. Oh yeah, okay.
The reasons.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, conditions, please.
Well, Chairman, we have the plans. It would be as per the plans, and then obviously materials, everything else we normally do on an approval.
Please, Chairman, I would recommend that they are the standard time condition, approval of plans, as Councillor Chan just said, the materials. I'd recommend that they're tied into the conditions that have been recently imposed on the recently approved scheme, and double checking any statutory consultees that may have suggested anything and ensuring that they meet the 6 tests. Thank you, Chairman.
And all members happy with that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes.
Right. That's duly carried then. Any items of business that the chairman of the committee decides are urgent? There are none. I'll just, before I go, just say thank you very much for putting up with me as chairman. And I close the meeting at 18:34. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Good night, members.
Chairman.
Thank you,
Thank
Chair.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.